Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can adjust some of the settings on the app Writing Wizard to make the activities either a little bit easier or a little bit more challenging. And also I'm going to show you how you can change some of the general settings that will improve the experience you have when using this app. Now you may have seen my other video which talks about the basics of the Writing Wizard app. If you haven't, do feel free to check it out on my channel because I won't really be going into detail in that this time. So let's get in and open up the app. The first thing you might notice when you open this app is the background music is quite intense. I've got the volume down at the moment, but when I first opened it, I did remember thinking, wow, how do I turn this off? Straight away, you can go to settings and you can scroll down and then you'll see one called background music and you can just toggle that off. You can also play around with some of the other sound effects that happen during the game, but I'll leave that to your discretion and I'll leave them on for now. Whilst we're here, there's another nice little feature here which is enable or disable activities, and here you can turn off some of the 5 different activities that are there. So for example, if you only wanted your child to focus on the pre-writing shapes, you would toggle off all of these, and when you go back to the main menu you'll see they're grayed out and you can focus on the one that you want them to. So let's have a little look at some of the settings within this. Now in the pre-writing shapes, we've got lots and lots of different options. When you go into them by default, you'll see that the sizes are quite big. And when you drag over it, it has these sort of coloured swirling patterns. Now they might be a little bit too intense. So when you first select one, you go to the cog, which is at the top right. You'll notice that cog isn't there when you're at the menu for this. You actually have to go in and select one of the examples in order to be able to change it. So if you click on the settings cog, you can change the size. So you can make it medium, you can make it small, or you can use a slider and do a custom size for it. I'm going to stick to the middle one here. And for the difficulty, they're talking about the thickness of the line. You can make it a little bit thinner, or even thinner still. And then you can also change the style. So instead of having those swirly different patterns, you can have it as a solid colour. I've chosen red here, but you can pick other colours if you wanted to use them. So those are your options there. Then once you go into the app, you can see that now when I drag it down, it's a solid red colour. A few of the other settings you can change here. If you go off of the correct path, so if, for example, your child takes their finger or stylus off of the screen, or if they go too far off to the left or right, will it stay in the same place? Will it go back to the last key point, or will it go back to the start? And what it means by going back to the last key point, you'll see that when you draw these red dots are the key points. So as I drag down, if, for example, I accidentally take my finger off, you'll see it goes back to the last key point. If I change it to go back to the start, when I drag down, if I come off again here, it will go all the way back to the beginning. I have to start again. Now that might be frustrating for some children, so I'll leave you to judge which is best, but for now I'm going to do stay in place. The easy key point validation and the draw only on model and the show model are all settings where at first I would leave them on. These little dots along here are the easy key point validation, so as you drag and draw over it, it will sort of lock the pen to that. The draw only on model will mean even if they go outside of the white lines, it will only do the drawing inside the white lines. And the show model is the actual white bit there that you trace over. If you turn that off, you won't see the model. They'll just have to go from point to point freehand. So play around with those if you want to, but by default they're on and I would leave them like that, especially when you first start using the app. You might want to speed up the tracing speed a little bit because sometimes when it does the modelling of each shape, it can be quite slow, and often I find that children just want to get on with it. Let me do it. I've seen it once. Okay, so those are the basics of how we change the settings to make the activity either a little bit easier or a little bit more challenging. And the same will apply on all of the other activities as well. Now, if I just go back in and unlock some of them, I'll show you what I mean. So if I turn these on. Now the settings I changed for this one just now, that will apply to all of these, but it will not apply to the uppercase letters or the lowercase letters. So if I wanted to go in and make those changes as well, I'd have to go into one of the letters and I would have to go to the settings, and I'd have to say, actually, right, yeah, I want that to be the solid pen color. I want it to be the medium difficulty thickness. And, you know, if you wanted to change any of these, what happens if they got the correct path? You'd have to change it on that one, but you won't have to change it on every single letter. It will apply to all of those. But if you wanted to do the same for lowercase, you'd again have to go into the letters, have to go to the settings. You can see it's already adjusted a couple of these already. I've changed them in the past, but you'd have to do that bit again. Not the end of the world, but a little bit of extra admin for you to do in order for your child to experience and enjoy the app the same way. Okay, so those are the main features of how you can make an activity a little bit easier or a little bit harder. I'll do another video shortly about how you can create customized word lists, and there's also my video on the basics of this app. So please feel free to check them out, and thanks for coming.